Welcome to PelviBiz Podcast. Today I'm going to get right into it and talk about we have been lied to as doctors and providers. And I'm going to tell you a nice little journey and story about all the different things that we were taught and that actually just weren't true. And so I really want to break down the lies that they told us. They told us, hey, go get a degree. Become a doctor. Once you become a doctor, you're basically never going to have to worry about your life. You're not going to worry. You're going to be comfortable. You're going to be able to take care of your family. You're going to be able to go on a vacation. You're going to be able to live a life if you do all these steps and go to grad school and all these things. And that just isn't true. That is a freaking lie. They lied to us. And so I'm here today to debunk the lies that we were told our entire life of going to school and being like, yeah, that is going to make your life if you go to school, get a degree, especially if you become a doctor, and that it is going to be what gets you through life. And that's actually what I found, and what many of others have found, is that's actually not true. And it's actually a complete lie. So I'm going to break some stuff down for you today. Here's the things that they didn't tell us. Number one, that you're going to actually start out your life with $200,000 to $300,000 in debt. Now, I don't know about you, but when I came out of school, I made $62,000. How the heck am I going to pay $200,000 to $300,000, okay, worth of student debt? That's just getting me back to zero. That's just not even to live. How does that even make sense? The math doesn't even math. So for those people out there listening, this isn't something that I would recommend. Like, I highly recommend not becoming a doctor anymore. Like, I really do. And if you are one, well, now we got to figure out a way to freaking get you out of this position. Because this was me. I was in this position. I had $230,000 worth of student loan debt. And then combined with my husband, we almost had $500,000 in student loan debt. How are we ever going to be able to afford a house, have a family, just even go on a vacation? We couldn't. And it's like heart-wrenching and heartbreaking when I look back on my journey of all the things that we tried and every single thing that we gave to this field. And then it's like you get out and it was like, bam. What the heck? Like, I just was like, I was just taken back. Because I thought that this was going to give me a life that I actually wanted. And I realized it didn't give me a life at all that I wanted. It just made me work my freaking tail off to try to figure it out. And all I did was try to respond and respond by basically getting more jobs. That's how I knew. Like, I was like, okay, I'm just going to have to. That's all I freaking knew was like, okay, let me just get more jobs. Well, then what I realized is there's only so many hours in the day. And I literally stopped working at 3 a.m., no joke, because I worked on movie sets in Atlanta. And then I would go and treat normal patients at 7 a.m. at a brick and mortar practice that I didn't even own. And so I did that for years, for 4 or 5 years. And that was my first stage of burnout. And I didn't know it was burnout then. I just didn't. But I was like, you know what? I'm just tired. I didn't want to leave the field yet. I really didn't. I thought, okay, there's more to this. And so I was like, all right, well, I'll just move states and it will get better. And it didn't get better. Did not get better. I worked in another clinic. I didn't work on movie sets out there. But then I had to work in a skilled nursing facility on the weekends. And I remember it was so freaking bad. I didn't have any money still. I couldn't fly back to see my parents, which were in Atlanta, for Christmas. I'm like treating these people in the skilled nursing facility. And they're yelling at me like, you didn't come at my right time. And I remember sitting in the car, FaceTiming my mom, and all my family is there like for Christmas. And I'm like, man, I really wish I could be there. And that to me was a moment I'll remember, because I have, on one hand, I have these people yelling at me and I'm just trying to freaking make money so that I can eventually get a plane ticket to go back and see my family. And then on the other hand, my family's over there just like having the time of their life, and I'm not a part of that. And that right there was a moment where I was like, what am I doing? What did I get myself into? Like, this isn't it. So it had me question everything. And, it was a moment where I was like, I don't want to ever feel like this again. Like, I've got to do something about this. And so, within 2 years, we moved to California, and I worked with Julie Sarton at her clinic and helped grow her clinic and help run it. And that she showed me like, wow, this is possible. There is a different path without killing yourself and having many jobs and all that kind of stuff. And so I was like, okay. And I went to Virginia. I didn't even think I still wanted to start my own clinic because I knew it was stressful. But I was then forced to. And I'm so thankful my health was going down the drain. And I'm so thankful my work said, nope, you can't take off during Christmas. And I'm so thankful they said the notes were more important than the patients, because those 3 things were the things that drove me out. And I said, I'm done. I'm done. And from then on out, I said, I got to believe in me. I got to believe in me. And I didn't have that much belief. I did call my mom and she gave me belief. But I said, I got to somehow make this happen. I needed $4,000 to live. And within 1 month, I made $4,000 exactly. It was crazy. And that's just a lesson. Whatever you put your mind to, and if you truly believe in you, guess what? Anything is freaking possible. Anything is possible. Like, I can't even tell you how important that is. You have to heavily believe in yourself. And if you don't have belief, you must borrow it from someone. It may be your mother, it may be a business coach, it may be just another coach, it may be a mental health therapist. It must be from someone, but you got to borrow it. And so that to me was like, okay, once I proved to myself 1 month in, I can do this. And I was like, okay, I can do it. Great. And then the rest was history. The other thing they don't tell you is that Con Ed does not increase your salary, okay? And you're basically going to be at a starting rate salary pretty much your whole entire career if you don't go out on your own, or if you don't think of a product, or if you don't think of something that you can sell besides working for someone. I'm just being honest, because what they also don't tell you is that we are capped. You're capped at how many patients you can see a day. Pretty much max you can see is like 7 to 8, okay? And you're maxed on your time. You don't want to be there for 12 hours. Sure, you could see 12 patients a day, but if you're treating one-on-one, you're going to be there for 12 hours. And you do that day in, day out, you're going to get so freaking tired. You will be done and you will be burnt out. And that isn't the game you want to play. You want to be able to stay in the freaking game. So how this is set up is for like most of us to fail if you are working for someone else and not going out and doing it on your own. And I'm just being honest. This is the stuff that they don't teach us in school, so it's not our faults. But I'm really trying to get this out here because I just see it in my own self and with all my clients, how much they have benefited from being able to get out on their own and do their own thing. You know, they don't also tell you that you're probably going to have to work at least 2 jobs. I remember a paycheck and a half went to my student loan payments, and that was the minimum payment that I could actually pay. That was minimum. So I remember I had $500 in Atlanta, Georgia, living in Buckhead, okay, because that's where the clinic was that I was working at. $500 to eat, for rent, for any fun. I didn't have any fun because I just was working all the time because I had 4 jobs. It was impossible, which is why I was a Pilates instructor. I was a personal trainer at private clubs. I worked on movie sets, and I was a clinical director. I'm telling you, when I say I worked till 3 a.m., I worked till 3 a.m., slept for a couple hours, and then got up and started working at 7 a.m. And I did that day in, day out. And it was fine because I was young and I had energy. But after, again, 4 years, I was like, I can't do this anymore. And so I left everything behind, including like the last little silverware that my parents gave me. That probably was from like the dollar store. I sold everything and I moved to Portland, Oregon because I was like, it has to be different. It wasn't. So I don't care what state you're in, what address you're in, what country you're in. It's the same thing. It's the same system. So I need you guys to recognize that all of us right now that are providers, we are trading time for money, meaning there's almost so much time in your day. You got 8 hours. Okay, you got 8 hours in your day. Well, that means you are capped. That means you could probably only make, if you're a therapist, probably only make about $1,600 a day. And I know that may sound like a lot at first, and that is a lot, but as you start to get into the game, it's actually not a lot. And that's the max you can make. Well, guess what? When your rent goes up, when the phone company says, hey, your phone bill just went up, when you have to upgrade your equipment, all that stuff adds up. And so if you can't increase your margins, then how are you going to survive as a business? You can't. And this is where people get stuck. And this is what we help people with is I help people exactly get unstuck, get their time back, and actually make money, because there is 3 different ways to do that, which I'll probably do on another podcast, but that is something. So let's go back to things they didn't tell us, okay? That you're going to be very limited in time for yourself and your loved ones. You are not going to have much time for your loved ones or yourself. And that is a fact. Your value doesn't come from your hands. It doesn't come from your time, or it doesn't come from you being in front of someone. That is very important. Your value does not come from your hands, does not come from your time, or you being in front of someone. They have taught us in school that if you put your hands on someone, that you are more valuable. That's just not accurate. Guys, I'm seeing it time and time and again in all my coaching programs. I'm telling you, I can't tell you within 1 week, when someone gets one client, they're making 4K. It's amazing, okay? And I'm not, this is like 100% facts, that I am seeing it firsthand of what is happening. So they don't have to be forward facing. They have flexibility. That's what y'all want. This is how I'm coaching, is to get you more time, not just to freaking do one-on-ones anymore. That's still a thing, yes, but there's other ways to do this that you can make more money and get your time back, okay? And they also don't want more time with you. I think so many people are like, if I just give them more time, this was me. I mean, I just put out a podcast episode a couple weeks ago that I was saying I would go home and record a separate YouTube video for every single client I had each week. And I would rehash what we did in that session and then say, here's your link. Go ahead. Aren't you going to watch it? Would anyone watch it? No. And guess what? I could go see if there was any views on it. And if there wasn't any views, they wouldn't watch it. But I would do that because I thought like, oh, I'm giving them more of me. Like, isn't that cool? And that just, it's not what they wanted. So be very mindful of what people actually want to, I could say that. Okay. What else? It's okay to dream big. I think that's another thing. It's really okay to dream big. You're not bad for wanting time with your family. You're not bad to want money. You're not bad to charge over $200 a session. You're actually valuable. You're very, very valuable. Guys, we have skills that most people don't have. Do you know there's only like 700 pelvic health business owners? Do you guys know that? That's insane, out of the whole US. These are skills that people do not have, which means our value significantly increases because people do not have these skills. It's not like you guys are trying to say marketing. Like, marketing is so broad, anyone has that skill. But people don't have this skill. So this is why our value goes up, not because we spent more time. Also, our value goes up when we can get the best freaking results. So when you can get the results and you actually have testimonials showing that like this is the thing that is going to get them the result, you win the game. This is why you must do testimonials. So I wanted to make this podcast because I think this is really important, because most things that they teach us in school does not set us up for success in the world at all. At all. And I want everyone to be mindful of that you're not a failure. Like, I always had this belief of, if I couldn't keep up like with everyone I worked with at different facilities I was at, I feel like I could never keep up because I couldn't do the notes and work on the patients the way I wanted to. And for me, it was like, wow, I must be like really slow and behind because I can't do everything they're asking these therapists to do. And at one point, I kind of just felt stupid too, because I was like, it just must be a me problem. But the reality was, I just cared so much about the patient that I didn't want to do the notes, because the notes weren't important to me. But I get the notes were important to the company so that they can get paid. Now I get it on the back end. And if you guys like are really looking for change and want something so freaking different, if you want something so different and you're tired of freaking being stuck, of being like, yeah, I'm in the same path. I wake up every single day, I have the same routine and go to work. Some of y'all want that. And I get it. I 100% get it. I live with one of those. Okay. I get that. But some of y'all want something greater. And when you want something greater, you can have every single thing that you freaking want. You can have everything you want. And I'm here to tell you, you can have it all. But if you want it all, you have to be a little psycho, okay? You got to be a little psycho. Meaning you can't just show up and be the average person. You got to take care of yourself. And I mean it. I've heard this like over and over again when I was building orthopelvic. And I was like, yeah, whatever. But I mean it. You've got to take care of yourself to have the energy that you're going to have to move people, to have a team. You're going to have to build a team. If you actually want your time back, you're going to have to build a team. That's super important. So if you want something great and you got to build a team, how is the team going to be led? Are they going to be led by someone that just rolls out of bed with their hair all messy? No, they're not. I've been there, by the way. I've been that leader. And when I was that leader, everyone went bye-bye. But if you show up because you got the energy, because you went to the gym, you actually took a shower, you put yourself together, they're going to be right there with you. If you show up bringing the energy, how can't your team not be on the same page and with the energy that you're bringing? So if y'all say you want something great, if you say you want something great, then you got to make a change. And you got to invest heavily in yourself. I'm telling you, you've got to invest in yourself. So if y'all are one of those people that you're like, Kelly, I just feel like I need a change. You're speaking to me. I understand this podcast makes sense. I understand the assignment. Like, I need to make a change massively. And you want to look good. You want to feel good. You want to show up for your family. You want to be the best version that you can, because you feel deeply inside that this is something that you're born to do. Like, you're meant to do this because you know that you're meant for more. Then this is for you. This podcast is for you. You can text us, click the link below, and just say freaking change. I'd be happy to personally get on the phone with you and help change you and get you unstuck. Or you can send us a DM at PelviBiz on Instagram, and I'd be happy to get to you there too. If you guys want change, now's the freaking time. It's time to change. Let's get after it. Bye, guys.